Oh, 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 oh. Oh, 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 oh.
Ryan, you hear that? I believe that's the sound of victory.
I think so.
It is indeed victory.
The shot heard round the world, part 2.
Yes, it was a. How did Ian Dark put that yesterday, Ryan? The U.S., I believe, has stolen it.
Have they stolen it? You're damn right we did. You damn right we did. Call us the thieves, put us in jail. I don't give a damn. USA 2, Ghana 1. USA gets the 3 points in group play. We are here live, episode 43, and we're going to give you the breakdown. He's Matt, I'm Ryan, and we're going to talk some soccer.
Yeah, that was indeed one of the most crazy soccer games I've ever seen. And on the biggest stage of it all at the World Cup, the U.S. getting 3 very, very important points in the first game of group play, which is always usually the most important one. And this is now the 5th time the U.S. have either gotten a point or a win in the group stage of the World Cup, and the last 4 times they've advanced. So history's on the U.S. side so far. A lot of work left to do, but the U.S. definitely helped themselves out yesterday, Ryan.
And, you know, it really all started in those first 30 seconds. Ghana got the ball. They turned it over rather quickly. USA takes the ball on a throw-in to, I think it was from Beasley into Jermaine Jones, and Jermaine Jones put a beautiful through pass to Clint Dempsey, who took an amazing first touch, kind of let the ball ride into his right foot, plays it into the box, and 30 seconds into the match, he takes a beautiful right footer off the post, and it's 1-0 America before the first minute of the match has passed. And I think he had the entire world in shock. At least the American Outlaws supporters were all in absolute awe. Is this really happening after this team has destroyed our dreams for the past 2 World Cups, and we're finally taking it to them right out the gate?
Oh, yeah. I mean, we went for the knockout blow right off the bat. 5th quickest goal in World Cup history, fastest in U.S. history. And like you mentioned, Ryan, a lot of the American fans, they had the look of surprise on their face for a second, but then after that, it was like, oh, crap, hell yeah, type of thing. And I think on the other side, Ghana got punched in the face, and we're like, whoa.
Wait, this team's for real.
All right, these guys showed up.
One interesting statistic I heard, I watched the first half before I got home, and then I rewatched the whole game and did a lot of homework on the match to really kind of break it down. And I heard Ian Dark say, Ghana, before the match, Ghana has given up 5 goals in the first 5 minutes of World Cup play in the past 2 World Cups. In 2010 and in 2006, they gave up 5 goals in group play in the first 5 minutes of matches. No one else has given up more than 1. So I think that might have had a factor to play here, that maybe defensively they don't get set quick enough.
They sure don't seem to be quick starters.
They don't.
Sure. And maybe that's when they're most vulnerable, as we've seen the show
as we exposed. And, these guys, Ghana, is going to have to play Germany on Saturday at 11. And should Germany jump out to a 2-0 lead, Ghana might as well pack their bags. But this is the World Cup. Any given team on any given pitch, any starting 11, we could see what will happen. But
I mean, look at Mexico today. They tied Brazil in their own backyard. Now,
all credit goes to Ochoa. All credit goes to Ochoa.
That's one of the greatest goaltending performances I've seen in recent memory.
I didn't get to see much of the game, but from what you guys have talked about and what other
I saw most of the highlights, because that was during the middle of the day while we were all working.
Yeah, unfortunately. What can we do? We got to make a living.
Yeah, exactly. You just check the highlights. You kind of browse into the game during your breaks.
Oh, yeah.
But, Ryan, what do you think was the biggest plus from the U.S. yesterday? Besides winning the game,
I took a lot of notes. A lot of notes on this game. I really did. It took me about 2.5 hours to watch a 90-minute soccer match, because I really had to stop and rewind and kind of evaluate what some things were happening. It all started, like I said, with the Dempsey goal early on. But the pressure didn't let up there. 6 minutes in, Bedoya had a beautiful cross into the box that could have been 2-0.
Right.
Josie tried to play it off the ground, and should he have gotten a left foot planted for a right foot shot, it could have been 2-0 6 minutes in, and that would have changed everything.
Right.
Completely. Ghana did not let up from that point. I think the American strategy was kind of, okay, we're up 1-0. Let's make sure we protect this lead instead of advancing it. They kind of shelled off a little bit. The offensive possessions got real quiet for the next, pretty much 80 minutes, for the rest of the game.
It reminded me a lot of 80s Saints football with Jim Moore, where they were playing not to lose, and I can understand why they played that way because Ghana may be the fastest team in the tournament.
One of them.
We cannot keep up with their speed, and I think we were so worried about getting beat that we were basically going to give up a ton of shots, and we're just hoping that Howard was up to the task.
Which he was.
And or if they do get a bunch of shots, a lot of them were going to be off the target, which 13 out of 21 were.
13. You know, they had 21 shots, but only 8 shots on goal.
8 shots on goal, and the U.S. only had 8 shots, but they made the most of it, putting
7 shots on goal.
So we picked our spots.
And we picked them proper. You know, in the first half, some of the notes I had taken, you know, Ghana in the 9th minute had a real good offensive push and kind of put us in some danger. But Bradley and Altidore at the 18th minute, this was a possession that had to be finished. We had advantage in numbers. It was on a counter strike, and this was one of Bradley's mishaps in the game. Bradley played a little above average. He played well towards the end of the game, but through the middle and the heart of the game, he gave up a lot of possessions, as did the entire American team. And we're kind of going to get into that. I think that was one thing that's really going to help us moving forward. Should we make a change in that? In that mentality.
And it seems like the same thing happened last year where Bradley didn't play that well against England in the first game, but then after that he played well the rest of the World Cup. So, you know, maybe history will repeat itself that way. And that's how he'll get sometimes. He may have a slow start with a tournament or something like that, but then after that, Ron, he turns it on and he's one of our best players.
Absolutely. Yeah, you know, I was teaching one of my housemates how to understand how the positions of soccer, and Bradley, in a sense, when we have possession, he's kind of the quarterback of the offense.
Yeah.
You know, with where he plays, you've got Josie and Dempsey up front, and Bradley is the most forward center midfielder, so he's the head of the diamond of the midfielders, but he's also the feeder to the forwards. He's kind of like your setup guy. But really and truthfully, Jermaine Jones played that role better than anybody else. Yes,
Jermaine Jones
had a almost perfect game. He didn't give away many possessions, if any. He played fantastic defense. He had the assist on Dempsey's goal 30 seconds in. And, you know, not to mention Bedoya. Bedoya had to run with Asamoah for 76 minutes before
which was a challenge in itself.
Before Zusi came in.
That's right.
You know, and to kind of wrap up the first half, Tim Howard had a fantastic save in the 32nd minute to really kind of set the tone for what he expected out of the back line and what he was going to show Ghana he was about. And then at the 39th minute, Asamoah Gyan had a great header that Howard had to make another save towards. It was another defensive breakdown, and we were kind of seeing the problems when they would cross the ball into the box. They were getting behind us mainly because of Ghana's speed.
Right.
You know, our back line held well, even when we went into that kind of shell, protect the lead kind of mentality. Our back line held well, but the problem we had moving forward was that we didn't keep possession of the ball very long. The 2 goals we got, one was a quick strike and one was on a set piece. You know, so our counter strikes were developing, but they were never capitalized on.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and John himself, he's always been the thorn in the side of the U.S. You know, he's the guy that was responsible for eliminating the U.S. in the knockout round in the 2010 World Cup, and he had the assist on the goal. So it still shows Ron that he can play 4 years later. And then of course IU had the goal that tied up at 82, and at that moment I was thinking, all right, we got the tie now. It's like, hopefully we can at least hold on to that.
At least get a point.
To get a point out of it, because of the way Ghana had all the momentum, it was one of those times you were thinking, you know, are we going to blow this, you know, lose it 2-1 or something like that. But then lightning struck.
And then this guy comes in the second half for Beasley. Beasler. One of our defensive backs was kind of cramping up a little bit at halftime, so Klinsmann
supposed to be okay though.
Klinsmann made the smart coaching decision and goes with the young 21-year-old John Brooks in his fifth appearance, for country. 6 weeks ago, he was looking like he wasn't even going to make the roster.
He was on the bubble, and he was kind of a surprise.
And you know, this guy comes in, and we're kind of getting to where he played hero. If you guys didn't watch the match, but
I don't think I've ever heard people in New Orleans cheer so loudly for somebody named Brooks before.
Nice.
Except for maybe in 2000. Except for maybe when we won that playoff game.
Oh wow! I didn't even think about that.
Yeah, when I saw it, I was like, oh, that's kind of ironic for Saints fans.
You know, 2 big things I took away in the second half, or a few big things. Ghana really and truthfully should have started Kevin Prince Boateng, because he came in.
And why Why didn't they?
I'm not really sure why they didn't, but he comes in the 58th minute, and the game changed in Ghana's favor.
Mm-hmm.
The momentum completely swung in their favor. This guy can shoot accurately from 25, 30 yards out, and he proved it. He got off 4 or 5 shots. One of them Howard had to make a good save on, but from 25, 30 yards out, he never shot from near the box. And
Which
he has
is
really
ironic for him. I know he's got range, but he's got the speed to get
absolutely. Absolutely. This guy plays for AC Milan. He's been there for a few years. Kevin Prince Boateng is probably Ghana's most experienced and I would damn near say their best player, but he had to come off the bench.
And that's what I'm wondering. You think maybe age is starting to be a factor? Not accidentally.
He's 34.
So he's 34, and maybe they think he's more valuable coming off the bench and can go balls to the walls for 30 minutes.
Right. Much like a Mariano Rivera type ordeal where you come in to close the game out.
Who did he come in for? Was it
I forgot who it was. I think he came in for Jordan Ayew.
Yeah,
it was Jordan Ayew.
That's right.
Jordan Ayew who had the hat trick in qualifying. And that's one guy that we talked about we'd have to watch. Jordan Ayew was relatively quiet. But Boateng comes in the 58th minute. And the only things we really saw from America was Jermaine Jones had a fantastic shot at the 63rd minute from distance. Mm-hmm. And if you ever sit down with me and watch soccer, you'll hear me yelling as soon as we get a touch at the 25-yard mark to rip it. Right. Let them rip. Quit trying to force it inside and just let them rip. Something with the outside the laces puts that weird English on it, and a lot of keepers have problems getting to it.
Yes, and like you mentioned, with the keepers having trouble, you can get an easy rebound.
Exactly.
I mean,
exactly.
You're throwing the trash in there, and you send your midfielders in there to clean it up.
Bingo. We've got the talent to take shots from 25 out, and with the speed of Bradley, the amazing footwork of Dempsey, he can take a one-touch and keep it right where he needs it, like he showed in the 30 seconds, and really make something out of a rebound. On the contrary, Howard played very well with his saves that he didn't catch by putting them out of the box.
Right.
He made a couple of really good saves. I'm not sure. I think it was the save I was talking about in the first half where he really had to dive out and push the ball completely out the box so nobody could play the rebound, so he would be able to save.
I think we gave up a corner because of it, but
I'll take the corner over a goal.
We've gotten a lot better at defending corners. So, 4 years ago, who'd have thought we'd start scoring on set pieces on corner kicks? We used to be awful at corner kicks.
Terrible. And now it seems like that's almost like our bread and butter. We're better at set pieces than we are just in the attacking third.
It can be a very valuable weapon for sure.
One big concern before we get to the good part of our set pieces, at the 68th minute, the United States had a corner that Zusi wasn't in yet. I can't remember exactly who took it, but it went back post and no one was home. No one was home. It ball went straight through, and the ball was at chest level about 3 feet before the back post.
All you gotta do is nod your head.
That's it. All you gotta do is put your head down like you're about to say a prayer, and we're up 2-1 or 2-0 at that point. We're at 2-0 at that point, and the game's almost out of reach the way our defense had been playing. So that's something I really think Klinsmann might want to look at moving forward. He does a real good job of stacking 3 men on the goal line to create a lot of traffic for that reason. But we need to have somebody on that back post coming in on that corner to really finish that job.
I guess if anything, we're at least getting the opportunities, which is something we also used to not do in the past. So,
absolutely.
Eventually it's gonna.
The clock's ticking. The machine's starting to work. Everything's starting to fall in our favor.
Experience plays a big key.
Absolutely. And 76 minutes, Zusi comes in and takes out Bedoya. Bedoya had played his heart out for 76 minutes, running up and down.
He's a very capable replacer. He can start.
He's our precision guy.
Yeah.
Zusi puts the ball on a dime from 40 yards out, as we found out in the 86th minute. You ask him to put it somewhere, and he's going to put it somewhere. He's very creative with the ball at his feet. He does a really good job with setting up plays, especially from the outside. I've played wing in my days playing high school and rec soccer, and Zusi does what I wish I could have. He puts the ball exactly where it needs to be to set our offense up with the best opportunity to score. In the 79th minute, there was a combination of ball moving between Beckham and Johnson and Dempsey that was beautiful, and it looked like it was a great setup for a goal, but Ghana's defense got there just in time before Dempsey got a shot off, and the counterattack is what led to Ghana's goal on Asamoah Gyan's back heel that set up Andre Ayew for the near post goal.
And just the footwork he had on that.
Fantastic.
It reminded just like
my note for that says not much defense could do. Great give and go.
We unfortunately had a jock on the field that
Yep.
day.
Size small.
Size small.
But We picked it right up, went and traded it back in for a large one. When we got our set piece in the 86th minute with my boy Zusi, I'm just talking about, and Brooks being in the perfect place at the perfect time. He played his heart out guarding against Asamoah
I
Gyan.
just love that reaction he had, too. Man.
He's so humble.
It was such I think he was the most shocked person in the entire.
His fifth cap, the go-ahead goal in the 86th minute, and most guys are running around with their jersey on their head, and he runs out the box and then it hits him. Whoa! And you could see it in his reaction. He's like, "Hold on, I need to process this."
It's like
and just so humbly lays down.
Scored one of the most important goals in U.S. soccer.
Yeah, just lays down on the pitch, and the guys just kind of came around him. And for the next 4 minutes, there was one concern I had with Bradley. In the 80, it was 90. They had 5 minutes of stoppage time.
Yeah, in both halves. How often does that happen?
The injuries.
Injuries,
a lot of.
But it's not often you see 5 minutes in both halves.
Not often at all.
And right when that came up, everybody has this big sigh, like, "Oh God, not another 5 minutes to stop these guys."
They're gonna come back. And right in it was like 93 minutes 30 seconds. Bradley was the last possession America had.
Yep.
Bradley had the ball, and any experienced player would have taken it in the corner, protected, killed 15, 20 seconds, forced into a goal kick or forced into a throw-in for Ghana deep in their own territory, to where it would take them the better part of that last minute to get up the field. But he tried to cross it over right at the attacking third line, and it turns over into Ghana's feet with about a minute left to go, which could potentially have given them the chance to score the equalizer. Good thing it didn't. Defense played fantastic on that last possession. It shut it down. As soon as that ball left the defending third, that whistle was blown.
Yeah, and one thing before we get into the Portugal game, one guy I was impressed with, especially when he got a chance to settle down, was Aaron Johansson.
Yes.
Who had big shoes to fill when Altidore went down around, was it
23rd minute, 22nd, 23rd minute.
And Altidore's questionable right now. He'll be a day-to-day type of thing. It depends on the hamstring, and you cannot mess with those because if you re-aggravate it again, it'll be done for the World Cup. They made a miracle run for the finals and all that. Hamstrings are just such a lingering injury. It was a grade 1, which I guess is only knock on wood type of good news. But I thought Johansson held his own pretty well, and it's nice to know that you have a young guy and that's another guy that's only 20, 21 years old.
First cap. First World Cup appearance.
And then, even though he didn't play yesterday, it's comforting to have a guy like Wondolowski on the bench who he just seems to find the goal when he's in.
Yeah, he sure does.
So the U.S. have options. Is Altidore a loss if he doesn't play? Absolutely. But it's not as big of a drop-off as in the past. And they got fight. This team has fight in them, right?
They do. They really do.
They really do.
And, a lot of the game yesterday, when I was really trying to break down the whole thing, I was upset. The score was great, but the gameplay I was upset with.
We stole it.
We stole it, but at the same time, the two big things I'll take away from it. We did well when we had to, defensively and offensively, but we cannot consistently give the ball away to Ghana or whoever we're playing against.
We can't do that.
Ghana had more than 120 passes completed, more than what we had. They had something like 400 something completed.
We had like 280 around.
So they had the ball 59 to our 41%. Against a team like Portugal or Germany, we're going to be in trouble if we don't keep possession of the ball to set up offense.
Possession in soccer is just like the NFL. It's the hidden battle.
Yeah, the time of possession, it really is. It really is. And, that's one thing I kept yelling at the TV about. Bradley kept giving the ball away. Our defense was playing long ball just to get clearances instead of setting something up out the back.
I think they were worried about just clearing the ball instead of counterattacking. We were so worried about this out. But in the end of it, I'll take an ugly win over a good loss any day.
I'll take my 3 points. Germany has their 3 points. Moving right along in the Sunday evening's matchup against Portugal.
Portugal's down 3 starters. Of course, you have Pepe for just being an idiot and headbutting. Maybe it's borderline red card.
Was it a malicious headbutt? Like a Zinedine Zidane headbutt?
It wasn't with the force, but it was with the intent.
Oh, that's
the guy was on the ground. Like, they didn't originally call foul, and he just kind of did the get in his face and kind of bump type of thing.
Get off the pitch.
It's a sport.
Get off the pitch. You don't deserve to be on the pitch if you're going to play like that.
The intent was a Zinedine Zidane.
That's all it
The
means.
force was more of just, trash talking type of thing, which there's no place. So if they had called it yellow, I could have seen it, but I can't really blame them for
The
calling it.
trash talking is one thing.
But I mean,
trash
physical
talking is one
contact
thing.
is different, man.
Zinedine Zidane had trash talk coming to him, and he was giving it back to I forgot exactly the player's name. I can't remember off the top of my head. I read an article about him a couple days ago. But
That was against what, Italy?
it was France and Italy 2006 World
The
Cup.
one back in Germany.
Trash talking is part of sports.
Right.
Violence is not.
No.
The headbutt, I don't give a damn what your intent was. You did it, so you don't deserve
the
to be on
guys. The guy's on the ground, defenseless.
Sorry, Pepe.
He's composing himself.
You get to watch from the stands as the Yankees take the pitch against your Portuguese.
And then, not to mention, they also have
Almeida.
Almeida is out, and
We're not sure how to pronounce this guy's last name. I'm gonna go with
let's go with Contra.
Contra. Let's call him Contra.
Contra. And then both those guys are
They're injured.
backs?
Yeah.
Almeida's the forward. Right?
Almeida's a center, a striker,
Okay.
and Pepe and Contra are both defenders.
Let's go with Contra, like the old
Contra, like the liquor. Contra's out with an injury. Almeida's out with an injury, and Pepe's out with a red card suspension for this game, so he'll be able to play against Ghana.
And then one of the guys also has a yellow card, correct?
Who is it?
Pereira.
Pereira also has a yellow, so he's going to be in danger. If he gets one yellow against us, he's out, and then they're back down to 10 men again.
Now, the yellow card rule in the World Cup, if you go 4 games without winning any races, something like that.
I'm not sure.
I think it's 3 or 4. I remember reading something about it.
I thought, now I could be wrong, and rightfully so.
But
I thought if you get a yellow card in one game, you play the next game and you don't get any,
it clears out.
It clears.
Okay.
But I could be wrong, and that's open.
And that may be what it is.
That's open to correction. If anybody knows, please feel free to text us or let us know.
I think it's 4, but like I said,
It could be.
and it could be different rules just for the World Cup.
What it might be, another thing might be, is once the group play's over, it could reset.
That's a possibility.
Could be that too. 2 yellow cards in group play. But what happens if you get a red card in the last game of group play? Are you suspended for the first knockout game?
I
think
yes.
so. I think
I would
so.
say yes.
So that may not apply. We'll see. We'll find out. All we know is that Pereira has a yellow, and he's a defender as well. If he gets one more yellow against us, Portugal's back down to 10 men. America already have a little bit of an advantage going into the Portugal match.
Yeah. The key, of course, is going to be guarding arguably the greatest player in the world. I think he's second best. I think Messi's
Behind Messi. That's a matter of subjection.
Right.
But
it's definitely the non-likable one of the
oh
two.
yeah.
Cristiano Ronaldo, one of the best players in the world, and who will give the U.S. defense all they can handle for sure.
He had 7 shots, 5 on goal against Germany, and they still got shut out. Cristiano Ronaldo is going to be a thorn in our side, much like Asamoah Gyan was last night and for the past 2 World Cups. But the difference with Ronaldo is it's not his blinding speed. It's his ball control.
Right.
And the fact that he can find 6 inches to get a shot off, and before you blink your eyes twice, to the back of the net.
The one thing that I think will help the U.S. in this game is they survived Ghana's speed. They can keep up with Portugal.
Yes.
Portugal,
the team, we can keep up with
Portugal is fast, but I think they're more along our speed, or we're not far off from their speed. Now, like we were talking about earlier, ball possession. That's going to be the key in this game for the U.S. We can't play like we did last time, otherwise, those 3 points are going to stay there for this game, and the U.S. is going to have to do something against, right now, probably the best team in the tournament. Either them and the Dutch have been the 2 most impressive teams by far.
I'm actually going to give it to Germany because Spain's offense has been so lackluster the past 3 years.
And they scored the first goal.
And they scored the first goal and then gave up 5 straight. Germany managed to shut down Cristiano Ronaldo and the Portuguese to a 4-0 90-minute match. Thomas Muller had a hat trick against Portugal. Portugal's number 4 in the world,
and they made him look.
And they made him look like Edie White soccer team. No offense, Cardinals, but I mean,
Yeah, well,
don't take the field against Germany. It's just going to happen. Bastian Schweinsteiger is bigger than every guy on our team.
And what's Germany also has the tallest team in the tournament.
Yep.
I think their guys average like 6 feet.
Yeah, it's the Germans.
Yeah, the Fourth Reich. Although we had the Fourth Reich going yesterday.
We sure did.
I don't know what kind of hand gestures he was doing on the sideline, but it was intense. I kind of liked it. It wasn't a high Hitler, so
He brings a whole new meaning to our team. He brings a whole new intensity to American soccer.
It's almost like you're gripping a piece of machine, just going like.
Yeah.
I don't know what maybe that's American German for good job, guys.
I don't know what it is, but we like it. Keep it up, Clemson. It's better than the Les Miles clap.
Yeah, we'll have more of that later on for sure.
Oh yes,
but it seems when Clemson starts yelling, they pay attention.
Well, I mean, you better. You don't want the Fifth Reich to come out.
The fifth, oh wow, the Fifth Reich.
No.
But Ryan, what's your take on the Portugal game?
In a nutshell, it's going to come down, number one, to the possession factor. It really will. We played really well and made the most out of every shot we took on goal. 8 shots, 7 on goal, 2 goals. Fantastic. Should have been 4 goals. Like I recapped for the Ghana match, the back post corner. Really should have had somebody there. It would have been a gimme goal. You could have just put your foot on the ball and it was a wrap. That was a goal. And then the Altidore, the Bedoya to Altidore early on in the first half, right after the Clint Dempsey goal, should have also been capitalized on. We really have to take advantage of those opportunities against a team like Portugal to really try to solidify a win. Because mathematically speaking, if we beat Portugal, we get the 3 points, we're advancing. It's over.
Yeah.
Nobody can take that from us because Germany plays Ghana on Saturday. We play Portugal on Sunday.
So we'll know the result of that before we play.
Germany beats Ghana and we beat Portugal. Mathematically, Portugal and Ghana are eliminated.
They're just playing a pride game, and the U.S. and Germany are playing to win the group.
Playing to win the group. And we discussed in episode 40 how it might be more advantageous to come out for us out of the second.
It's like, do you want to play a likely Belgium team that wins the group, or if you win, you play the likes of probably either Russia or South Korea. They tied today.
Yep. And Belgium had to come back down 1-0.
Algeria
against
gave
Algeria.
And Algeria, they're a team, they don't score much, but their defense is tough to break down.
Yep.
Which we found out 4 years ago.
Absolutely.
They scored an extra time with Donovan's goal to get into the knockout round.
Oh, Landy
Cakes.
Landy Cakes. They showed him at halftime, and he was just as anxious as every other American soccer fan out there across the world. Like, just calm down. Like, no, you need to sit down and you need to calm down. You've been sweating this entire first half. I see it on your face.
Oh, I'm sure Alexi Laos was flipping chairs on that set.
I bet. But, I mean, in a nutshell, when it comes down to Portugal is, they've got 3 of their starters out, which is really advantageous to us. Although we always like to say we want to play their best starting 11.
Right.
I don't like to see anybody hurt, but I'll take it any way I can get it now that it's the World Cup.
Pereira with the leg now.
Oh, yeah, it's all about it. I truthfully believe we can beat Portugal. I won't be disappointed with a draw. I will be disappointed if we lose. How we lose is more important than if we lose.
Right.
Because of goal differential.
Mm-hmm.
Portugal is down -4 in goal differential. We're up +1. So really, the big advantage we have is, one, we have the 3 points. So if Ghana loses, they're out. They're done.
Yeah, they're done.
If Germany beats Ghana, they're out. And they're done. So if Germany beats Ghana and we get the draw 1-1, we're now at a +2 goal differential. Oh, no, we stay at +1.
Stay at +1.
Stay at +1.
4 points.
But we have 4 points, and Portugal has to make up a 5 goal differential against Ghana to usurp us.
If they would give up 5 goals, I guarantee you Ghana would score 2.
At least. So the way it's looking and us advancing are very good as long as we draw or beat Portugal. If we draw or beat Portugal, it's a party in the USA. My prediction, Greg, Lee, Reese, call it blind optimism. I'm going with the same score, 2-1. 2-1 America. It's not going to unfold the same way. It's not going to unfold the same way.
Think it'll be a more complete game?
I think it will be a more complete game. I think Klinsmann is going to be able to change his strategy a bit because Portugal's not as fast as Ghana. I think that defensive shell that occurred after that first early goal won't happen. I think as long as we can keep Cristiano Ronaldo from doing what he does best.
You think we put 2 guys on?
No.
Or at least a
shadow?
A
yes.
shadow?
A shadow, yes, but double teaming him, no. Because Portugal's too good. Portugal's too good that he can just drop the ball back and make a run.
And somebody will be open.
And somebody's going to be open. I don't think we put 2 on him, but I do think Beasley moves from left to right. And I think that'll be the big factor.
I think we do everything in our power to make sure he doesn't beat us, too.
If he doesn't beat us, they don't beat us. That's what I stand on.
I tend to agree with that. I think one thing that will play a factor, will out-the-door play. It's 50-50 right now, but one thing the U.S. has to do, they have to get off the high of the Ghana win ASAP.
Come back to
it. As great as that was, they had their 24-hour rule. They should be actually no. They're probably already ready. They're probably already preparing and everything like that.
Because I think they see it the same way we do. They got the 3 points. Now we have a really very good chance of advancing.
Yeah. You got past level 1. Now it's level 2. And, of course, level 3 is going to be Germany. But before you even get to that game, I think even if the U.S. is shorthanded, I'm going to go to tie. I think they somehow find a way to at least get a point out of this. I'm going to go 1-1. They're going to get a goal. I think they will score. But even if the U.S. is shorthanded offensively, if Altidore out, I think they find a way to get one, and I think they can at least get out of there with a point. But it wouldn't surprise me if I'd be a little surprised, but at the same time, not as surprised if we pull out a 2-1 victory, like you said.
I think let's throw some hypotheticals in here before we call this show a night.
Okay.
Let's say Aaron Johansson starts on the opposite of Dempsey.
Okay.
So we've got the same starting 11. You've got Johansson, well, minus Altidore. You've got Johansson and Dempsey. Beasley should be back on the back line. You got Beasley. You've got Fabian Johnson, and who was the other one? I forgot his name. I can't remember. You got to go back to my notes. Hold on, I got to go back. Cameron. Sorry, Jeff Cameron. Geoff Cameron. But then you've got Beckerman, Jones, Bedoya, and Bradley
to do that diamond.
To do the diamond, which has worked so well for Italy and AC Milan in the past.
We're starting to learn it.
The diamond to soccer is the triangle offense to basketball.
It's hard to learn.
Really true. It is.
If you master it, though,
it's beautiful because you have options in all 4 directions if you keep that diamond maintained.
I think the best I've seen us do was against Nigeria.
Here is where I think the X factor comes into play. Okay. Second half, substitution. Wando.
That's for
Johansson.
They're going to play a little where's Wando?
I think Johansson will get the start. He'll get the nod. And even if Altidore is 75%, I think we keep him healthy for the potential of needing the Germany match.
And that's another thing. What if Johansson does start, but you have Josie on the bench ready to go? If he feels okay, maybe he can handle 30 minutes.
I would still go Wando before putting Altidore in there.
Okay.
You know, being that Josie feels okay.
And that's the other thing, you can save him for Germany. You
could save him for Germany if we need him.
Now,
and he can play one half of Germany because we'd be playing for winning the group, and we may actually want the second seed.
And that's the other thing. Even if we tie with 4 points, you can still play to win the group because you get 7 if you miraculously would beat Germany.
Holy smokes.
So it would still be for the group if you tie.
Absolutely. I think that'll be the X factors. Who comes in for Johansson in the second half? And if Bedoya plays the way he did and Jones plays the way he did, we forget Portugal. We are going to be tough to beat.
Yeah.
The key here, the big key, rests on possession.
And you know what? I'm going to go with the goal for the U.S. I think Michael Bradley gets it. I think he's going to have a big game against Portugal.
I think, and that's what's going to come down to, possession.
And I think Portugal will strike first, and I think we'll end up coming back, and I think they just battled a tie. One of them could get a second goal. I'm going with the tie. Ryan's going with the win. Either outcome is very likely.
If Wando comes in the second half, stand on me. I think Wando puts ahead the go ahead.
He just finds the net.
He puts himself in the right positions at the right times, and he's got a great right foot. I just think Wando's one of those players that when he comes in the right time, much like Prince Boateng did last night.
Yes,
he really changed the game, and if he would have been a little more on point, it could have gone the other way. It could have been a 3-2 match with Boateng's shots. He had like 4 or 5 shots, 2 or 3 on goal.
Mm-hmm.
But
we'll know Sunday for sure, and of course we'll be talking about it a week from now. But Ryan, we're just about out of time tonight. You got anything else?
5 o'clock, Rendezvous, Magazine, American Outlaws, Sunday. Be there or be square.
Are you doing the Pulp Fiction?
Oh, yes. Oh, yes. I went straight Tarantino on them.
And then, of course, all our Baton Rouge friends, the Baton Rouge Outlaws chapter is at the Londoner. There is a Baton Rouge chapter.
There you go, guys.
In fact, I heard Louisiana is getting 3 more. Homa's getting one.
No way.
They're on the list. Shreveport and
Lafayette.
I want to say it's either Lafayette or Alexandria. One of those.
Awesome.
But soccer's growing in Louisiana, right?
I just got one thing to say before we close out.
America.
It's happening!
Maybe we can get Ron Ball on the show.
That would be awesome. Oh, yeah, we're working on getting John Brooks on the show. Matt and him are Facebook friends now, so we're going to work on that for next week.
If you don't believe it, check the page. I got the screenshot.
Yep, screenshot. And I want his shorts.
I mean, Our show's growing. We hang out with we talk to U.S. players now.
Yep. In case you didn't know.
We're kind of a big deal now.
Kind of a big deal. Just wait till football season. I've got some insider information that none of you guys have. And that's true, actually. Thanks, Lizette. With that being said,
Night, America.
good night, America.